One of our region's oldest law firms practices on the leading edge of innovation. The Webb Law Firm specializes in patent, trademark, and copyright law. Its attorneys hold dual degrees in the sciences. Now it's moved to new office space in downtown Pittsburgh to accommodate expected growth. Julie Meter is co-director and vice president of the Webb Law Firm, as is her colleague, Kirk Miles. And welcome. Good to see both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this firm's it's quite a story, really. You go back to the heyday of the industrial Pittsburgh in the 19th century, right?
Absolutely. The firm is over 165 years old, and much of the firm was built along with the steel industry.
So I guess, yeah, you think, you know, the amount of innovation that was happening here in Pittsburgh back in those days was remarkable.
It certainly was, and it continues on into today's practice as well. We still represent some of the steel industry as well as the glass industry here in Pittsburgh, so we've really developed that practice along through the past 165 years. And
now, responding to a much more diverse economy, I would think to stay in business this long, you really have to adapt to the much more diverse economy that we have, right?
Well, certainly. The attorneys at our firm have technical degrees in a whole host of disciplines, so not only in those traditional metallurgy and perhaps glass arenas, but computer science and medical devices and all things of that sort. And our client base is certainly based here in Pittsburgh, but there are many companies that come to us from outside the region to have their work done here by us.
So you're doing work all over the place.
We are.
Yeah.
Yes, and a lot of that is a testament to the size of the firm at this point as well. Typically, in the heyday, as you mentioned, a lot of patent practice was done on a much more individualized basis in smaller firm practice, and that has grown over the years to consolidate practices, and the patent practice has developed in the same manner. We're now a firm of 40 attorneys who all practice in patent, trademark, and copyright law, so the intellectual properties as we refer to them.
So you've got 40 attorneys, but then you have all these different skill sets because everybody has a dual degree? That's the whole deal?
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm a chemical engineer, and Kirk has a chemistry background, but we have attorneys that have degrees in computer science, metallurgy, pharmacy, you know, a whole host of technology, so that we can handle both aspects of our work, the technical aspect as well as the legal aspect.
Does it make it a challenge to find the talent to work at a firm like this? You have to be different than the typical law firm that's out there.
That certainly is the case, but we do what I believe is a fairly good job of going back to the universities and the law schools to determine exactly who has that background and whether they would fit in well with this type of a practice.
Do you source the folks at the firm locally a lot, or from all over the place coming to Pittsburgh to practice?
It's a little of both. We have folks who have come to law school here, so they want to stay here. We have folks who are from here and like to come home to Pittsburgh to roost and end up working here. But it's also a unique type of a firm because we are a good-sized boutique firm. It's an opportunity to work in that kind of environment that you might not get in other cities.
Very interesting. Now tell me about the new digs. You just moved into a new space, right?
Yes.
In Gateway Center, right in the heart of the first Renaissance part of Pittsburgh. Right?
Yes, and we're very happy to be in our new space. Our space isn't much larger than our prior space, but it's designed specifically for us and the type of law that we practice. We have a lot of interdiscipline between our different practice groups in terms of the chemistry and the mechanical end, and a lot of our attorneys intercollaborate a lot with each other, and the space is designed by our architects specifically for that nature. They worked very closely with us through the design and the development phases to understand the type of work that we do and how we interact with each other, and have designed the space around that type of practice, and 1 month in, it's working very well for us.
So what, a little more dynamic team-based working environments rather than just every single lawyer in a separate office down an endless row of corridors or whatever?
Yeah, that's exactly what we wanted to avoid, was that sort of a feel. So instead, when we were working with our architects, we said we need to be able to work closely together because none of us work all by ourselves. We need to be able to consult with each other and our assistants. So our space has an open feel to it so that you can readily consult your neighbor or somebody, you know, downstairs or down the hall much more easily than in that traditional sort of environment.
Yeah, you say it's roughly the same size of the space you had before. I mean, what are the growth prospects like for a firm that specializes in patent law these days?
Well, things have been doing very well for us. We've certainly grown quite a bit in the past 15 years, and we expect to see what we consider controlled growth over the next 10 years as well. I think Pittsburgh is blossoming as it did many, many years ago in industry, and we're trying to tie into that as much as we can and assist in the development of new technologies in this area. And along with that, we plan to grow our practice as well.
It's got to be fun to work with the people who are really coming up with these brand new ideas and products and trying to help them figure this out, how to protect the intellectual property.
Yeah, absolutely it is, because these are the best and brightest of our region, and we feel sort of lucky that we have the opportunity to work with them and help them through their processes.
Well, very exciting.
Yes, and whether it's a large corporation or a small business or an independent inventor, they all share the same excitement about their ideas, so it's just a great area of the business to be in.
Well, it's exciting. A firm, the Webb Law Firm, one of our Pittsburgh's, one of the region's older firms, but also right on the cutting edge of what's happening today in our economy. Julie Meader and Kirk Miles from Webb, thank you both so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be back in a minute with little dollars and cents. Stay with us.